Welcome to Unified Champion Spotlight. My name is Craig Tornquist, and I have the great pleasure of interviewing the stars of the inclusion revolution. And today we have actually two innovators on the program, and they're doing some things in their own worlds that are really interesting. And I am excited to have them share their news with you. First of all, we have Itzel Graber, and she is the manager of health and fitness for Special Olympics Indiana. And the other half of our tag team today is Ryan Peppel. And Ryan is an adaptive PE teacher at East Noble High School. And he has been the unified track and field coach from the very beginning. He goes back 8 years with that duty. And he's also the unified bocce coach at East Noble High School. And you're to be congratulated there, Ryan, because your team was the state runner-up at our recent Unified Bocce State Championship.
Yes.
It was a good day, and your students were having a blast out there on the field.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They do every year.
Well, our focus today is on unified fitness clubs, and I want to start with Itzel. Itzel, can you tell us what is a unified fitness club?
Yeah, a unified fitness club is something that has the focus around fitness in general, and it gives members an opportunity, a way to exercise year-round, but it does have the unified part. So this does mean that it is both with and without disability, so people come together. In our programs, we have a lot of people that focus on the common activity of walking, but that is something that you can expand on always. And we do recommend that they meet at least once a week, but that is always very flexible dependent on the group or how you manage to start this club.
Normally on this program, our focus is on unified activities in the school system, so elementary, middle, or high school. But this concept has been around for quite a while in Special Olympics Indiana, and it covers more than just school-age kids. Is that right? This is open to all Special Olympic athletes.
Yes, correct. This kind of started at the county level. So we have right now 40 county level programs. So that's, ages from 8 to anywhere to, we have some athletes that are in their 80s. And then we slowly are trying to transition that into the school level now. So we have 6 schools that are starting this program up.
You mentioned walking. What other activities at this point fall under the umbrella of unified activities that they're doing in these fitness clubs?
Yeah, so we have, it kind of depends on the county and how far the club wants to take it. We've had some people even have anytime instructors attend their meetings, they've reached out to their local anytimes. Also Zumba or yoga instructors have came to their meetings. A lot of people have taken the advantage of going on nature walks together or doing any of those frisbee golf courses that are around in your area, as well as we had one county that went to a water park, and it was really cool to see athletes in wheelchairs enjoying the water park and walking the lazy river rather than going afloat.
That's great. And it sounds like fun, and it's all about helping folks form new relationships, make new friendships, and stay active, correct?
Yes, correct. Yep. It's all about, having some type of physical activity, but there's always a way to make physical activity fun when you have a unified aspect to this.
And as you said, this, though, has been attractive mostly to adult-aged folks. Is that right? Adult-age Special Olympic athletes?
Yes, that was our original model was when we started it a couple years ago, was to start it at the county level. But this is something that we are open and we are adding more age groups. And this past spring, before COVID, I was able to get some elementary level students involved into this. So it was an after school program for them.
That's great. Well, Ryan, that's where you come into the picture now. We're going to switch grades because you are someone who has been working throughout your career with students, and you are currently the adaptive PE teacher in your school system. Can you tell people What is the difference between adaptive PE and maybe the PE class that most of us grew up taking?
Well, honestly, it's not much different. So our adaptive PE classes we do similar activities, similar sports and everything. We just modify everything to ensure everyone's success. So the activities themselves are the same. We still play soccer and, basketball, volleyball, a lot of the same tag games, everything you grew up playing in PE class. We do the same. We just modify it to make sure everyone can participate and everybody has success.
Well, Itzel's been talking about unified fitness clubs, and you've been involved with Champions Together for 8 years, really since almost the very beginning of Champions Together. As a coach and as a teacher, why have you become such a proponent of unified sports and unified activities?
I just grew up playing sports. And I know how much sports have kind of shaped me into who I am today, and the values that you get from playing and being involved in athletics. So when the opportunity was presented in front of me to get my students involved, I jumped at it and thought it would be a great idea, and it has been ever since.
What do your students get out of the Champions Together, like unified track and field, unified bocce? When you see your students interacting on those teams, what do they get out of it?
Well, they build friendships. That's my favorite part to watch and to see, is seeing the relationships that are built. They're genuine friendships. They care for each other, both the athletes and the partners. They ask about each other when so-and-so is not at practice. They're concerned. They're not in unified PE class. They're not happy. They're sad. They want to know why. The unified part of everything builds so much character in both our athletes and partners. The responsibility, the caring, and just overall, it makes everyone involved a better person.
Well, you've been successful as a coach, and then 3 years ago, you created a unified PE class within the school day there. You wrote the class description. How did you sell this to your administration? Because this is a new concept in a very busy time. How did you sell this there locally?
Well, my administration has always been on board with the unified programs after school, so it wasn't too difficult to sell. We have a program here in our applied skills classes right now that is they're learning partners, and they go into the classroom during every period, but it's a small number of learning partners to work with our athletes and on their academics and a number of other things that they would normally do in the classroom. So I just basically presented it with trying to go on a bigger scale and making the class as close as we could to 50-50 with athletes and partners. And the class for the partners, I was going to use that as an opportunity to educate our gen ed students more than what I could on the athletic side of it. So now having them in the classroom, I had time to talk specifically about disabilities, talk disability awareness, and actually educate them even more to be advocates. And having a peer as an advocate is really changed the dynamic of the school. We had a number of kids that want to be a part of unified flag football or bocce or track, but they're involved with other sports, part-time job, band, choir. They're just too involved and they couldn't fit it in their schedule. Now that there's something available for them during the school day, they're able to be a part of the inclusion revolution, and so it's great.
And this is an elective class that they get credit for.
Absolutely. Yep. It's in the PE department. So just like you would, sign up to take a strength training class or any of our other electives in the PE department, they can elect to sign up for unified PE.
So what does a typical class look like? Walk me through, is it 50 minutes, 45 minutes? Is that your class period there?
Well, I have the students with me about 45 minutes every day. And then it's because it's the end of the day with transportation stuff, I don't get them the entire period, but it works out pretty good because it gives me time one-on-one with the partners, and that's where we talk about discipline awareness, and I get to educate them, kind of like just how I got educated, like learning about disabilities. So they come into the gym, like any other PE class. We go through a warm-up. I give instructions on what the activity is going to be for the day, and they break off and they get to work. Before it was unified PE, when it was just me and our unified athletes, I would have to bounce around to get students to participate, to ensure their success, modify each individual group or each individual themselves. Now that it's unified, the partners are able to help make those adjustments, and it's constant 45 minutes of activity. There's no downtime, productivity, time on task. Everything is just 100%. It's just like a well-oiled machine, and everyone's active. So the transitioning from going adapted PE to unified PE has benefited every single person in that gym.
And it sounds like it's really efficient. I mean, now that it's peer-to-peer, I would guess the enthusiasm has gone up too, because they're getting it's more individualized attention.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, they a big part of the unified thing is building those relationships, and then we focus on the activity. But now it's all natural. The activities get done, the socialization's happening, everything is going in place, especially at the high school level, because I do both high school and middle school unified PE classes. The middle school, as they transition into the high school, now they have experience in the unified world. They have a background of working with individuals with special needs, and we just had a meeting this morning actually with our elementary staff, our special ed area at Wayne Center Elementary, and they're in the works of getting unified fitness going during recess. So yeah, it's exciting. I can't wait to see what they're going to do at the elementary.
So that's going to be almost unified fitness clubs within the school day then.
Yeah. So our unified PE class integrates the unified fitness part of it during the classes, and the elementary is going to use it during recess.
Social emotional learning is a really hot topic right now in education. Is there a direct correlation between unified fitness clubs and your unified PE class, the unified sports, and social emotional learning?
Yeah, I think so. I think that the confidence that's built with being a part of athletics and being a part of the unified part of things, where you somebody. A number of our students now are eager to be in the hallways and in the lunchroom with maybe a little less anxiety, knowing that there's a chance that they're going to run into a teammate, or they're going to run into a classmate that they know, and be able to hang out with them for a little bit. So yeah, the confidence level is skyrocketed. I guess that's the biggest thing that stands out. They walk with their chins up and their chests out, and they're happy to be a part of what they're involved with.
You strike me as someone who is not content with how things are, and you're always thinking down the road and looking to the future. What are your goals for this year? And given that you've gotten a whole bunch of obstacles that you weren't expecting this year with the pandemic and social distancing, what are your goals this year and beyond for unified sports, unified fitness clubs there in your school?
Sorry, the bell. Actually, it's kind of already in the works. One of my goals was to get the elementary part of things moving. And like I said, we just had a meeting this morning, and the staff there at Wayne Center Elementary is super excited. There's 3 life skills teachers in that building. The administrator, Jamie Carroll, is amazing. They're totally on board, and they want to make this happen. And I just kind of put the bug in their ear, and they're going to do it. This is all them. This is going to be their program. Itzel, you're going to be getting an email, or pretty soon they're going to be reaching out to you. So that was my goal, because now I think East Noble can say that we're unified, K through 12. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Itzel, I did not forget you. I'm coming back to you right now. You are part of a team at Special Olympics Indiana that has been very impressive in that you have not taken the attitude, well, we can't do anything because of the pandemic. It has been much more, what can we do? What are you seeing? What have you seen different people do with the unified fitness clubs around the state that maybe virtually, or how are they working through these waters that we're in right now to stay active and stay connected?
Yeah, one of our counties was very quick to come up with the idea to host a Zoom call, but no one's sitting down in the Zoom call. Everyone's on their cell phone, walking and talking in their neighborhoods, their local park, maintaining social distancing, of course, but they could be across the county and they're still talking to that person. So they were able to still do this, to still talk and communicate and have that interaction. So there was no social isolation or any of that, which was great, but they still got their walking and physical activity in. But then now slowly they're starting to come into smaller groups, but they're definitely taking advantage of the great weather that's happening right now and exploring different parks and different activities that they didn't get a chance to do since some of these groups are larger. They're now breaking up into those smaller groups, which is great to see.
There are several schools that have had to cancel their unified flag football season, different activities that they would normally do that would help them earn the Champions Together banner or the Unified Champion Schools banner. If they were to set up a unified fitness club and do some of these virtual things that you're describing, will that qualify for the unified sports component that they have to fulfill to earn the banner?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the Unified Fitness Club is what we call it, is classified as a unified sport, since we have to have both athletes and partners involved in the group. And this is something that's a great start if there's not local schools who do unified sports that you can compete against. This would be an easy way to get that unified sports qualification. But similar to Ryan, I mean, he had the adaptive PE class. So he just implemented, added a couple little things and made sure, they're still doing physical activity, of course, but his looks a little differently, but it's classified as a unified fitness club. So this is something that can be very flexible. It can start with 4 kids or it can start with 30 kids. It's all dependent on how far you want to take it and what you want to do with it.
All right, so if someone's watching right now and they said, oh, Itzel just gave me an idea. Oh, I'd like to learn more about this. I got to ask her a question. How can people reach out and connect with you?
The easiest way would be via email. My email is igraber@soindiana.org, but we do have some information on the Unified Fitness Club in general on our website. But with schools, it kind of varies on the programming. But feel free to, always reach out. I'm available by email always. But if not, you can take a look at our website as well at soindiana.org.
And it's iGraber, and Graber is Graber.
Yes.
iGraber at SO and then spell out Indiana.org. Very good. That's great. And Ryan, I am sure that there are some educators out there that are saying unified PE, this is a great idea. Are you allowed to share the course description? Are you willing to do that?
yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And how can they get in touch with you?
They can reach me at rpeppel@eastnoble.net.
And it's Peppel, P-E-P-P-L-E, not Pebble, like pebbles on the phones. Yeah. All right, last question for both of you, and I'll start with Itzel on this one. Do you have a a story, Itzel, of a relationship that you've seen formed because of a unified fitness club? Or do you have a favorite story or a favorite moment that you witnessed and you thought, you know what, that's exactly why I am very proud to be involved with unified fitness clubs?
Oh gosh, I probably have a lot of stories, but in general, I would say I really like when I go visit clubs and school programs and things like that and actually see the interactions between partners and athletes. It's great to see them, you know, with a positive attitude. They may be doing push-ups or they may be running laps or whatever it may be, but they're happy, smile on their face, having that social interaction. But then that also leads to the hallways as well. It doesn't leave that room. It goes with them. So you know, they may see that person at the store and they have that relationship. They know them by full name. They know what they like. They know their colors. And it's great to see that friendship into something that, you know, we thought is a great movement, and it's continuing to become bigger and better as we go along.
And I'm guessing they don't introduce each other as this is my partner or this is my athlete, as this is my friend.
Yes, correct. And it's awesome to see that interaction.
Ryan, how about you? Coach, teacher?
Yeah, I don't know if I can narrow it down to one, but my favorite is when I hear from an East Noble alumni that was a part of the Unified Nights program, or a parent, or anybody that was a part of the program that's no longer at East Noble, and they share a story, or if I see it on social media, pictures that they're no longer at East Noble, but they're still hanging out. They still socialize. There's their friends, and it has nothing to do with because they have to go to practice or they have to go to class together. So that's my favorite, is seeing the genuine friendships continue beyond East Noble.
And I've got one more question for you, Ryan. What qualities do you think a successful unified coach should have? What are some of the traits that would really help them be successful?
Just well organized and be willing to think outside the box and be the first. Be the one that goes and say to speak up and advocate for your students and fight for what you know is right and fight for those kids and be the first in your school to start that program. Have that confidence and just, you know, display what you want your students to have inside them. So.
When I was in college, I took a leadership class, and the professor said, folks, there are 3 ways to lead: by example, and by example. People are going to watch what you do far more than they will listen to what you say. And you both have been outstanding examples, and you have changed our state, and you've changed our world. And congratulations, and I hope you both keep up the great work that you've started, because you're both young and you got a lot of years ahead of you. Itzel Graber, Ryan Peppel, thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to hopefully crossing paths with both of you when we're allowed to. All right? Thanks for being on Unified Champion Spotlight, and keep up the good work.